I was surprised to learn that Bad Bunny wasn't just a professional wrestler. I had that surprised me when I was watching the big game last night. Which I think everybody was watching the big game last night. But I was coming out of a 2-day stupor because I got some food poisoning at the well, I don't want to mention the establishment, Texas Roadhouse. Emily and I both ate there on Thursday afternoon. And then Friday, around, I'd say, right after I saw J.D. Vance at the opening of the Olympic ceremony, started to feel a bit off. And then I just started to feel real off right around bedtime. Thought, man, maybe I gotta go to the bathroom or something. What's going on here? And then I eventually left Emily in the bed, because when I'm sick, I turn into a cat. You know how when cats are injured, they go hide under a car or they go under the porch or something like that. They get away from humanity. They don't want anybody around them. It's the same way with old Jeremy here. I decided to go downstairs into my video store. Boy, I don't know if there's anything that I hate worse in the world than being nauseous. And Jeremy was nauseous all night. I couldn't watch TV. I couldn't do anything. I couldn't sleep because I couldn't find a position that didn't make me want to throw up. And the funny thing is, before this Friday, or I guess early Saturday morning at around 3 o'clock in the morning, I hadn't thrown up in over 36 years. I've been keeping track. It had been since 1990 since any projectile vomit had flown out of this gullet. But unfortunately, as with Jerry Seinfeld in that one Seinfeld where he eats the black and white cookie, every great streak must end. And my streak ended. Streaked right out of my mouth into the toilet. I don't even know how I knew it was coming. I just felt like I'm either gonna throw up or I'm gonna die. One of those two things, because I can't live like this anymore. And I knew, so I just kind of lumbered over to the toilet. Just kind of sat in front of it, first on my knees, and I'm like, this hurts. How do people do this? I can't do this all night. So I just kind of straddled the toilet a little bit, and then it just and then magic happened, not to get too graphic, but I'll just say, after that I felt a little better. Still felt nauseous the rest of the night. So, oh yeah, it was coming out of the other end too. So it's like, what happens? What do you do in that scenario? You just live on the toilet, I guess. I live near a toilet. I don't know about anyone else, but I feel like whenever I'm nauseous, I feel like I don't know how anybody can ever function as a human being. Not just when they're nauseous, but just in general. I feel like, how is this life worth living? And when everything makes me sick, I can't think of food. I can't think of TV. I can't look at anything. Anything. It could be anything. It could be like a penny on the ground. Oh, there's a penny on the ground. Oh. And apparently there's a name for that. It's called nausea dread or something. I went into Copilot and I was giving it my symptoms and I was asking what the heck I should do with myself. Yeah, I go to robots instead of real doctors because, quite frankly, it's more affordable and the information is because whenever I go to the doctor, I tell him, hey, doc, I got this heartburn problem, and then he just types it into Google or whatever he's looking at the internet, and he's like, oh, you gotta do that, and I could have done that, sir. Where's my $20,000 doctor bill? So yeah, I'm asking robots for medical advice. That's the world we live in now. But my robot told me that that's a very common thing for people to feel that way. And that's actually a thing that is known to feel like the world is crumbling when you're nauseous. Well, at first it misunderstood me, and then it gave me like the number to like a suicide helpline. I was like, whoa, that escalated really fast. That's not, excuse me, that escalated really fast. That's not what I was talking about. And he's like, oh, my mistake, I misread you. So yeah, these robots aren't perfect, but if you do need help, there are suicide hotlines available. I'm not downplaying that, but that was just a figure of speech because it's the worst. It's the worst. Oof. But luckily the next day I started to feel a little better. But I didn't eat anything at all that day. I slept the entire day, the entirety of Saturday. I had the Olympics on in the background, so I saw some figure skating and some downhill racing. I missed the girl that got injured though, so that's unfortunate. And then Sunday, the Super Bowl started, and I've been eating on Sunday. I had some toast, and a banana. I had some Campbell's chicken soup for lunch and dinner. Threw in some applesauce at some point. Had some Ritz crackers. So I'm getting back up there. I'm getting the oomph back, getting the strength back, getting the appetite back. So I decided to watch the Super Bowl, for the commercials and the halftime show. And that I did. And I don't know if anybody else saw it, but did you see the trailer for the Cliff Booth movie? I don't even think it had a graphic on the screen, but it looks like a Grindhouse type movie. And there's like a Japanese guy with him, and I don't know what's going on in it, but it looks like it's right up my alley. The Adventures of Cliff Booth coming to Netflix in June. That's not a paid advertisement. That's just me and my own personal interest in a David Fincher film written by Quentin Tarantino and starring Brad Pitt in possibly his greatest character of all time. So that's just me. I'm looking forward to it. And there it was in the Super Bowl. You might have missed it. If you blinked, you missed it. It was a decent teaser, too. I'm looking forward to it. I'm pumped. But the Bad Bunny performance, I don't know how anybody could watch that and think that, that's something to not be positive. Like, how can you not see the positivity in that? That was so good. Like, I don't speak Spanish or Latin, even though I'm half Puerto Rican. But I just want to say that I do feel it was a performance of such positivity that I feel. Do you hear that bird? I'm sorry. I'm in a bedroom. I'm in Emily's bedroom today, as you can see by the dogs and the Taylor Swift albums there. Where was I? Oh yeah, how could anybody look at that and think of anything other than it was just a very positive thing, a positive message. Love overcomes hate. Bad Bunny, great job at the Super Bowl. Lady Gaga, great job. Ricky Martin, dusted him off, wheeled him out there, looked great, looked the same, doing the Vida Loca or whatever he does. Bad Bunny, A+ Super Bowl halftime show, that's for sure. I hear they had another one for the conservatives. I heard it wasn't good. That's what I heard. I'm not going to watch it. So much positivity in that guy. I loved it. Maybe. I've been sick, so I've been kind of like, I guess, in need of a good cry. But some water started squirting out my eye a little bit. Started squirting out a little. I could have just been because of the position that I was laying in because I've been ill. But maybe it was touching my heart too. Sometimes the most unexpected things can touch you in the heart. So that's really all I got this week. I'll get some quick reviews in here. I did watch a couple movies. Secret Mall Apartment, that's on Netflix. I've been looking forward to this one. This is about a guy in the early 2000s who gets thrown out of his... he and his art group get thrown out of like a warehouse community that they had been cultivating of art because they're going to put in a mall. So when the mall gets built, this artist guy, he figures out this... secret space that's in there because he's kind of snooping around a little bit, and he kind of feels like he's entitled to some he was going to like board meetings and stuff trying to get this mall or trying to get his warehouse home not being torn down, so he was trying. This poor guy was trying, and I'm not saying you need to trespass or do anything like that because it is illegal what this guy did, but he did find a spot in the mall, and he made it a home. And he lived there for, I think it was 5 years, undetected, in the mall with his friends. And they were like moving cinder blocks in there. It's crazy. It's a crazy story. And they got all this footage because they were recording it all on this like cheap digital camera from the early 2000s. And it's a really interesting story. It goes into his other art as well. So he's a cool guy. The mall part's definitely the most interesting, but the whole thing is just definitely worth checking out, especially if you ever thought about living in a mall, like Dawn of the Dead style. I don't really rate documentaries with stars, so or thumbs, but I give it a big heart on Letterboxd because it was really good. And I also watched Honey Don't. That's the Ethan Coen side mission while the Coens are on their sabbatical, their side mission sabbatical. I hear they're working together again, maybe, possibly. A lot of people didn't like this one. In fact, most critics that I listened to absolutely despised it or hated it. You know what I say? Honey do. I like it. I like these sun-drenched 70s neo-noir exploitation lesbian crime things that Ethan is doing with his wife. I think they're great. I gave Drive Away Dolls the same rating I give this. 3.5 thumbs up. Yeah, I think if you like it, you're gonna like it. I think the cult is gonna come around on these two movies. Like already I see Drive Away Dolls has more fans, but I think Honey Don't may have been filmed before Drive Away Dolls, from what I understand, but I could be wrong. But oh god. I was afraid something was gonna come up there. But Honey Don't is a good movie. It's about a detective, a private detective played by Margaret Qualley, who I love. I think she's beautiful. I think she's easy on the eyes. I think she's charismatic. I think she's a good actress. Oh, there it is. Oh God. I think I tasted some banana in there. That's normal though, right? Margaret Qualley, she is one of my faves, my new faves from The Substance. Leftovers. She was in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Speaking of Cliff Booth, she's real good in this. And Aubrey Plaza. God, I can't think of names. It's that brain fog from the food poisoning. But she's good in this too. A lot of people didn't care for the ending. I thought it was fine. I don't know. I don't know what people expect from movies nowadays. I really don't. I feel like they're so picky when movies come out. But then, like when they've been out for 10 years, they'll go back and watch the same movie with the same plot, and they'll talk about how brilliant it was. So it's very like I saw the same thing with Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? I think Owen Gleiberman in Entertainment Weekly gave that movie an F, and I didn't like it either. But then I saw it a few years ago and I was like, wait, this movie's incredible. This movie's very good. This movie's very, very good. And it kind of ruined movies forever, that movie, because it was the first movie that did like digital color timing. So like every movie that you see now has that digital color timing to it, as an option. Not everybody uses it, but still. But that was the first movie that used digital to kind of create its like sepia tones and whatnot. And so for better or worse, the Coens, embrace technology. I don't know what my point is other than the fact that I think in 10 years, people are going to look back at Honey Don't and Drive Away Dolls. And if he does the Beaver Slasher movie, which I hope he does, because I'm looking forward to it, then I really think these are going to have a cult. These Ethan Coen side missions are going to have I haven't even looked at Joel's movies yet, because it's like Macbeth or Shakespeare. Like, who wants to watch that? I'd rather watch the exploitation stuff that Ethan's doing, but that's just my personal sensibilities, and I enjoyed it. 3.5 thumbs for the Honey Don't, and a heart too. I think I gave it a heart. Did I give it a heart? I can't remember. Either way, it's real good. I enjoyed it, and I also watched Cooley High, which I'll let it in here right now. Hey guys, I'm getting ready to go to bed, but I thought I'd squeeze in a quick review of the movie I just watched. I watched it on Tubi, but it's not an actual. It's not a Tubi Friday. It'll be something else. That's just the only place I can find it. It's called Cooley High. I think this is one of the last movies that I kind of discovered. The last old movies that I kind of discovered on cable, back when I had cable. Probably around 2007, 2008. I think I saw it starting on a local channel. Sometime in the evening, and it started. I didn't have no idea what it was. It just started, and I heard the song on the opening credits, Baby Love. You know that song? Baby love, baby love, baby love, you know that one? Well, it started up, and I was like, oh, this is interesting. I've never seen this before. And then it kind of opened with the shot of Chicago, and I was sucked in right away from the opening credits. And then it said Cooley High, and I was like, never heard of this. So then I saw a little bit of the opening, and I was like, oh, I gotta check this out someday. So I kind of made a note of it, and then I think I may have rented it. They used to have like an on-demand service through like Comcast, and like you could watch movies on demand. And I think Cooley High was on there one time, and I checked it out, and I enjoyed it. Thought it was a good movie. It's like a American Graffiti, like a American Graffiti for like the inner city Chicago, And while it takes place 10 years prior to the year it was filmed, it takes place in 1964. They made very little effort to actually recreate the time period, so it's kind of filled with anachronisms, I think is what they're called. And like it opens with a shot of the Sears Tower. That thing wasn't even built until the 70s, so right away you're kind of in the hands of someone who's a very good filmmaker, but isn't taking too much effort, or I guess maybe doesn't have the funds to do a period piece. But for some reason they really think it's imperative that it takes place in 1964, probably because they want to get all that Motown music in there. And honestly, that's one of the best parts of the movie, besides the two leads, the guy from Gremlins, and he was in The Wire also, Glenn something, and then Freddie Boom Boom Washington from Welcome Back, Kotter. He's in this too. And Anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah, the Motown music. It's a big plus. You know, really. It's got Smokey Robinson, Miracles. It's got it's got all sorts of. I got the soundtrack on vinyl. Let me bust that out soon. But yeah, it's a good one. It's a good one, soundtrack wise. And the movie itself, it's just kind of doesn't really have a plot. It just kind of, you know, meanders along, you know, like a vibe movie, like a hangout movie, like American Graffiti and A Dazed and Confused. Except, like I said, it's all like in the city, Chicago. Growing up in Chicago in the 60s. But there's 70s cars all around. You know how I look at it? Like, maybe like the writer of the movie, like since the main character is supposed to be a screenwriter, this is how I look at it. This is how I let it play in my head to kind of excuse the anachronisms. So like, maybe this guy, he's walking around Chicago in 1975, and he's going to all these places that he used to hang out 10 years prior. So what he's writing down is kind of a mixture of 70s location landmarks in the 60s, because you know how the brain starts getting fuzzy, especially when it's only been 10 years, because, you know, the difference between 10 years in 1964 and 75 is huge. But the difference between 10 years now, like go back to 2016, I wouldn't be able to tell you what was distinctive about it. So it's just kind of like that's how you kind of look at it, you know, like a guy's walking around the city and he's getting some of the landmarks wrong, but he's still got the memories, you know. So that's what's being portrayed in this film, and we'll watch it that way. If that made sense. I don't know. I'm tired. I'm about to go to bed. I give it 3 thumbs up and a heart. I've seen it about 3 times now, and I like to revisit it. And I thought it'd be a good way to kick off February. As we all know, that's Black History Month. Did this movie create the whole pouring the thing out and singing, you know, one for my homies, you know, that sort of thing? I think it did. You know, pouring the drink out before you take a swig of it yourself. I think it created it. Great soundtrack. I think the highlight for me was the like the dance thing, where they're playing a bunch of hits, including "Ooh Baby Baby" by Smokey Robinson. You hear that song? Ooh Baby Baby, ooh baby baby, ooh baby baby. And that does it for this week's episode. Maybe a little short this week, but like I said, I'm recovering from some bout of food poisoning with Emily, and we're going to take it easy, okay? So, Godspeed, peace and love. Maybe try to avoid the desserts at the Texas Roadhouse for a while. I think that may have been what did it, because that's the thing that we both ate besides the rolls. I had a burger, like a medium well cheeseburger, and it was delicious. I'd eat it again. It was worth it that night of death. But other than that, maybe stay away from desserts. I don't know what it did. I don't know what did it, but it was something from there, because Lucy, our child, didn't eat there, and she's been fine. Just me and Emily got hit with it. Godspeed, peace and love. Stay warm, stay happy, stay cozy, stay fuzzy. I can't remember what it is. Anyway, till next time. It'll be better next week. Life, the reviews, everything. Everything's getting better. Puerto Rico forever. Bad Bunny forever. Oh, by the way, if you haven't seen his match with Damian Priest from Backlash, I think it was 2 years ago now, in April, from Puerto Rico. Damian Priest is another Puerto Rican. Check it out. The crowd is on fire. Bad Bunny's a great entertainer. He takes some big bumps. It's a good match. Bad Bunny, real wrestler. He did a real match. Check it out. Well, I mean, like a real wrestling match. You know what I mean? Anyway, it's going too long.